Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Good morning. How's your morning going? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. A little wet. Good weather for ducks around here, my friends. Good weather for ducks. Jeb 2 clan. Lazy D. Oh, that's what I'm going to call it from now on. Lazy D. Jeb has sent me a lot of content. He's working hard to get better. I like that. Got a lot of questions, a lot of good comments. It's how you get better, isn't it? Being honest. And that's what got me thinking about that whole subject, which I've talked about in the past. But criticism, constructive criticism, being honest with your gameplay, or with others if they ask you to do so, while also understanding that even as I sit here and talk about this, I am also imperfect and I make mistakes as well. You know, when you're good, let me just back that up a bit. I had instructors who gave off the air of perfection, as in they never did anything wrong. Now, there were two kinds of those instructors. We're just going to get going here. There were two kinds of those instructors. The first ones were the people who acted like they never did anything wrong, and then when they did do something wrong, they ignored it, or they covered it up, or they didn't address it. The second kind, and these were the better kind, the second kind were the ones who acted as if they could do no wrong. And then when they made a mistake, they admitted to it. They talked about it. They talked about what the fix to the mistake would be, and then they worked on that. And I came to realize over time that the second kind, who were giving off the air of doing no wrong, were not doing that on purpose. It's because they were actually that good. They were good enough that it looked like they could do no wrong. It's a subtle difference, but it's important. But the more important part for the student who's learning is that they admitted to their mistakes as well. And usually what that meant in an instructor is that they were very good at breaking down your mistakes. Because with the realization that they were not perfect and they were trying to perfect their craft at the same time that they were attempting to help you perfect yours, both of you got better, and those were the best instructors. The other part of that is the ability to take the criticism. We all love the smell of our own brand, don't we? We all love the smell of our own brand. Being able to take criticism is important. And it's more than just saying, hey, can you give me some feedback? And then ignoring it because you really didn't want feedback. You have to actually, mentally, on purpose, take the feedback and work on it. You have to take the feedback and actually plan on working on it. Without excuses, without, in the terms of this game, it was RNG, it was my team, it was the deployment. All the things that I often find myself complaining about. So back to old Jeb here. Jeb's been working on getting better, and he sent me this replay in a note. And he said, Guido made me feel bad. So I tried to keep my gun in the game and do my work in my bottom tier TD. The Jagdpanzer 4, he is bottom tier, my friends. He's got tier 8s. This thing just does not stand up to tier 8s very well, even 7s. Relatively stealthy, okay mobility, pretty good pen, average alpha. It's a weird little tank, but it can be pretty good. That's not really the question, though, is it? Because whatever tank you're in, you can still be a part of the team. You can still be a part of the win. And that's what Jeb, I believe, is getting at right here. He's trying to keep his gun hot, keep his gun in the game. So he went to this position. All right, it's kind of a Camp-a-Llama-Ding-Dang position, and that's not me trying to make Jeb feel bad. But guess what? He has shots. He has shots. And what I like about this is he's going to kind of recognize this here fairly soon, after we shoot into the bush with our mighty HE shell. Well, actually, we're on APCR now. I thought he was over on. I think we go to the HE a little while later. Pretty soon he's going to realize, all right, this is dried up. I need to start moving. Now, this is not a tank. You want to go raging down this, what is it, the 9 column and start shooting people in the face. At least not in this particular setup right here. So it is not a bad idea at all to do a little strategical Camp-a-Llama-Ding-Dang where you're actually able to support the team. So not bad at all. So what we're going to do here as we continue to babble and continue to play is discuss how old Jeb is doing here, and we'll come up with some things that he could do better. And we'll talk about the things he does well. And that's part of the debrief. One of the most important things I learned becoming an instructor is to make sure that you talk about the good things that happened as well. You know, if you're out there as an instructor using fear, ridicule, and sarcasm as your 3 pillars of instruction, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that. If you've done any kind of technical training, you've probably seen the instructor that is the rager, right? In the jet, it was the one in the T-37, since it was side-by-side seating, the guy that would reach over and grab your mask and, you know, shake your face when you're doing something wrong. We don't want to be that guy. We want to be the guy that takes a look at it objectively and says, all right, that was good, but guess what? Here's a couple things could make it better. Here's a couple things that were bad, but acknowledging the good things. So what I'd like to acknowledge, obviously, here is that he is pushing up. I like it, although we are a little behind because an FV has been more aggressive than us. Jeb errs on the side of careful aggression. There's a, I don't know, range of aggression from YOLO, die in the first 2 seconds, to never leave cap, somewhere in between all of that. And Jeb's a little more careful, but what I have seen is he is breaking out of his shell. And I like this move right here. His team's doing pretty well. Let's pause here and just talk specifically about this game real quick, this particular match. The Cannon was here, and by the way, he bounced actually the Cannon shot, or it got a crit, no damage. So, you know what, a little luck, whatever. It's not that you get lucky, it's what you do with it. But he was last seen around here. Now, what I feel like has happened is he's probably up here somewhere, right down in these south hills. That makes this push a little problematic. How many times have you seen the 9-0 column 1 only to have the green team push up and get shredded by the campers? So I think Jeb's carefulness here is absolutely warranted. But the good news, Jeb, is that you are making this move carefully. And let's see if we can get some spotting and figure out where these guys are. All right, we see the Lanson. We back out. He doesn't see us. I think the Crusader probably spotted him. We see some good cover, right? Little camouflage right here. Soft cover, camo, whatever you want to call it. The ability to not be seen. So he's going to hang out right here in these bush. And then this is weird. The 30-45, or actually, the 30-45 moves up, but the Lanson shoots right where Jeb is. And I think that was just a good player taking a stab in there, figuring more than likely somebody's hiding out in those bushes. Now, we don't know if the 30-45 got spotted, but that shot wasn't even on line to the 30-45. At least it didn't look like. So just something to note. You know, and we see that in the debrief, right? We see that in the debrief. We can actually take something from that. We can look at that and go, oh, well, that's interesting. The Lanson's in the middle. He's getting spotted. He knows that he's lost the 9-0 column. And I don't want to put too many thoughts or words in his brain, but it looks like he figured somebody might be here. And whether he saw the 30-45 or not is hard to know. But he takes a stab into that bush. And you know what? Maybe 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 100 goes into somebody, but that could actually make the difference in a match. So there you go. There's a little nugget of learning you can chuck into your bag of tricks. Now, Jeb's going to take some shots here, and I've talked about this often. For my money, this is one of those places where you zoom in a little bit more. But he's kind of zoomed out to there. This is really to taste to a large extent for players. But for me, I think a little more zoom in would help on these long-range shots. Break, break. I tend to zoom in a little too much at times, I believe. So I will take that also as a criticism for me. So Lanson's still alive in the middle. Jeb's team is winning, but it's not a romple stump. This is actually a fairly close game right now. Isn't that nice? Now, what the enemy team does not have is good map control. So it is certainly advantage Jeb's team. They have 2 more tanks. They have a few more hit points. And they have good map control. The enemy team, however, has a fairly good defensive position, and Jeb's team is going to have to be somewhat careful. Now, I was surprised right here, to be honest, that he came out into the open, and even that he shot, to be quite honest, because he got into the forward part of the bushes a bit, it's knocked down trees and whatnot, that there was nobody up here, i.e. the Cannonen, shooting him. But you know what? There wasn't. So now Jeb is moving forward carefully and seeing if he can grab some more map control. And I like this. This is a great idea. Not a lot of people who play casemates would be doing this. They'd all be back where the Scorpion is, or the Super Hellcat, or the Jackson. And I think that Jackson actually said it. We've already gone by it. But he said something like spot. Now here comes the 4202. And I wanted to talk about this little engagement here. Jeb, nice job spotting him. Guys hit him. That's good. All right, so go right here and start getting these shots. Now, from a technical aspect, we're going to talk about what you're doing here because you do it for most of the rest of the game. But just, I want you to watch what you do with your tank here. And think about where this 4202 is looking, not at you. Boom, back out automatically. And nope, he's not. Oh, okay, I don't know. Oh, there we go. All right, I think you stay there and you gun this guy down until his turret starts turning towards you, then you get out. That was the best move there, and I believe you put 2 shots into that guy right away. Now, they already shoot, so we're going to back out of that, and then he dies to our spotting. So fantastic. 378 spotting, 431 damage. Look at this game and go, oh, you know, he's not absolutely burning down the world with this damage and this assist, but he is being a huge part to this team wrapping around these campers and taking them down. So we'll come around this way. The Lanson is still wandering around somewhere. I believe they killed him. Yeah, there we go. He's down to 80-something hit points. And I like this move. Let's go take this spot and see if we can get some spotting on any of their TDs that may be hanging out. Their JPZ-4 goes into the middle of the map. I don't know. We come up here, we find the Hellcat. Perfect. This is exactly what we were looking for. He was being silly. Shoot. Back, back, back. He's on fire. Go forward. Rock around. I just wait for him. All right? I just wait for him. Now, the danger there, of course, is maybe a couple of guns are hanging out back here, and the first shot, they come right at you and start taking shots. But at this point of the game, I'd be looking to get rid of that Hellcat. Still, you slightly more careful, you got it done. So that's more a case of a point to ponder where there were 2 options there, and just have a thought about either option. The backing out may make you miss the shot, although you came forward enough to get it with a fully zoomed. The staying in may eat a shot. So both of them have their pluses and minuses. This artillery is bombing this spot. And I thought you were going to go right there, and there's another hit in there by the artillery. Once they show an inclination to start bombing where you are, go somewhere else if you can. And I think right now, based on where everybody is, you've got the super Pershing that moved up. You've got guys surrounding them from every direction. For me, I think I dive off this hill right now, come down off this, and I try to sneak up around this way. Go over here and try to sneak up around this way. Because I'd like to find out how many guys are camping up there and start to give my snipers some shots. The problem with being a little bit less aggressive right now is if your team starts to get impatient and move in, you've got so many near deads. Look how many full hit point guys they got. Campers tend to be that full hit point. Now, it's showing full hit points. Maybe they took a hit and you don't know. Artillery could have hit them or some other hit off screen. Outside draw range, I believe. Or is it spotting? I can't remember. But anyway, it's possible. The point is it's possible for them to have less hit points than is showing on that chart. But seeing as most of them are camping, I wouldn't be surprised if most of them were just about full hit points. Now there's another shot coming in there, and we're just sort of hanging out. And I would ask you the question at this point that I ask often of people when I do replay reviews, what's the plan? If the plan is, well, I'm just waiting for my team to do something because I feel like I can't get out there, then that's fine. Obviously, you're trying to avoid getting shot by the artillery. And then we finally kind of go. And I'm not really sure what's going on with the driving, but like there's a lot of back and forth here trying to figure out a line. Probably just didn't want to go bombing off the rocks and blow up. That's a good plan. So we try to get up that you're going to need a lot more smash to get up that. You're going to need a lot more energy to make that happen. And then here comes the Scorpion G from Wandel, or Wanda L, I guess. And we follow that person up. I like this. Little mutual support. He's going to go in there and get all kinds of damage and spotting. I think for me, just from a technical aspect, what I like to do here in these cases with these kind of accurate casemates, just go and put the pipper on it, right click, auto aim, bring the gun online and fire away. Maybe with a little quicker action on that particular auto aim act right there, you might have got a shot. That's something that E25 drivers are famous for. Driving and firing. So good, I like this. Cover to cover, point to point, shows map knowledge, shows a plan of where to go from point to point. I like that. Knowing where the cover is to get spots. There goes a shot in there. That little devil's down there somewhere. And we take a blind shot, that's fine. And I think I just bomb off of this hill, but it doesn't matter because here's the 304. Nice shot right there. This time we stand in. Looks like you're fairly confident you're not going to get spotted. You did take a shot earlier and there was no light. If anybody didn't notice that, that's really important. That doesn't mean somebody couldn't have moved forward in that small amount of time, but it's a good SA that at least for the moment there's nobody there. You shoot no light, then that means you can probably stand in and start gunning down the 304. There's not a whole lot of tanks left in the game, so very unlikely he was going to get spotted. All right, so we kind of come forward here, and I like this. We find the Emil, he backs out, and I want you guys to watch what happens here. I think it's just a reflexive move, and this is just a place where it doesn't need to happen. I think you know what's going to come. Shoot, we back. He's turning, we back. Man, just stand in. Who cares if he gets the shot off? If he gets a shot off and a lucky hit, fine. At least I just aim in, and as soon as I am locked in on this guy or reloaded, I've already got that nice dispersion down. I just fire away, and somebody stole the kill from me. Like, it is that much of a difference. Just that quick back out forward thing, you lost that last shot. Could he have snapped you? Maybe. Maybe. It looks like he was going after the Scorpion G, but as he's turning, you don't know that, right? If he stopped straight on you. But if he gets that shot, in this case, on this map, it doesn't matter. Your chance of getting the shot by standing in was much higher, and I think you had a better possibility to get that shot than being snapped by him as he spun around. Happens. Happens to me all the time, but just something to think about. All right, there you go, Jeb. Nicely done. Appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't make you feel sad on any of that stuff. No, I know you were kidding. There's the little smiley face guy was right there, so I got it. But, you know, if you're going to get better at anything, I feel like a broken record when I talk about this, and most of you heard me say this dozens of times. If you're going to get better, then you have to be honest with yourself and assess what's going on. I'm going to have some more videos about this next week from my gameplay. The way the game's changed a bit, the things you kind of need to do now. So you have to be honest with it. And if somebody is getting a better result than you, there's a reason. And it's not just pure luck, not over a large enough sample size. If you're talking about a person who's got 90,000 battles like I do at 58%, and you're at 48, then I'm doing something better than you are. Maybe not everything better than you are. Take those things that work for you and add them into your list. And then try to be honest with yourself and improve yourself as you go. That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for your support. If you're looking for other ways to support the channel, you will find them down in the description. We will see ya.